Right now at 5, an explicit exchange. Tonight, we have new court documents showing the conversation between the former Franklin College president and an underage boy, or so he thought.
A school district is making changes to its social media policy after questions from Call 6 Investigates. I'm Kara Kenny with what it means for parents and what they say on Facebook.
Big changes on the way for hundreds of students in Indianapolis. The decision made today regarding 3 charter schools.
This is breaking news from RTV6, working for you.
And we begin now at 5 with historic breaking news. Today, the U.S. House of Representatives voted to send 2 articles of impeachment against President Trump to the Senate.
And this sets up only the 3rd impeachment trial in American history. Any moment, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will sign the impeachment resolution, which will allow the articles to literally be walked to the Senate by the House managers and others in dramatic fashion. Those 7 House managers, which include Representatives Jerry Nadler and Adam Schiff, will prosecute the case against the president. The vote to approve the articles and managers was 228 to 193, with 1 Democrat from Minnesota voting against it. We will continue to monitor Capitol Hill and bring you live pictures as these developments take place. Tonight, we are learning more about the conversation and the actions that led to the arrest and charges against the former president of Franklin College. Court documents filed in Wisconsin show the exchange between Thomas Minor and an undercover officer whom Minor thought was a 15-year-old boy. In those conversations on a cell phone dating app, Minor asked the teen boy about things that are sexual in nature, such as what he's wearing and how many men has he been with. Officers arrested Minor after he made plans to meet up with the teenager at a fast food restaurant in Wisconsin. When detectives questioned Minor, he said he knew he was meeting up with a 15-year-old, but that he was going to, quote, mentor him. Minor is facing several charges, including child enticement and use of a computer to facilitate a child sex crime. He was fired from Franklin College after his arrest.
A Hendricks County school district is changing its social media policy following a Call 6 investigation that raised questions about whether it's even legal. The Northwest Hendricks School Corporation's Parent Code of Conduct says parents can be banned from school property if they speak ill of the district on social media. Our Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny broke that story earlier this month and joins us now with how the district is responding.
Many parents take to Facebook to vent their concerns about a teacher or the school, but the Northwest Hendricks School Corporation's Parent Code of Conduct says parents cannot make rude or offensive comments about the staff or the school. The ACLU says that's a violation of the First Amendment. Some parents in the Northwest Hendricks School Corporation are angry.
We need a board that is going to start standing up for our kids, and none of you have done that.
They've taken to board meetings and social media to vent their frustrations.
You're not protecting the students.
The Parent Code of Conduct that targets social media posts has been around for years, but it's come under recent scrutiny because of the outrage surrounding the Tyler Bruce matter. Mother Stacy Lewis says her daughter was sexually assaulted by Bruce, a high school teacher. She and other parents feel the district did not handle the allegations the right way.
You are all fake.
Bruce has remained on paid leave since May while the criminal investigation continues. He denies the allegations.
Is Tyler Bruce really worth all this?
As Call 6 reported earlier this month, the First Amendment protects the rights of citizens to speak their mind about government, whether it's at meetings or on social media. After questions from Call 6 Investigates about the legality of the Parent Code of Conduct, the district announced Tuesday it is making changes.
There was recently some concerns brought up about the wording of some of the stuff in that policy.
Specifically, crossing out everything related to social media.
They actually did go in and make some changes around some of the social media stuff. And so, we want it to be right.
District spokesperson Donna Petrates emphasizes no parent has ever been removed from school property for what they said on social media, but she admits the policy should be changed.
The kinds of things that they're concerned about, the Parent Code of Conduct was an issue. We took that immediately to an attorney and had it vetted. And so the recommended changes, so tonight was the first reading of that, and those recommended changes will be made. So I think that will make people happy.
The new version of the Parent Code of Conduct will now go to second reading and could possibly be approved at the February board meeting. I'm Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny.
And tonight on the news at 7, we will tell you how the district is making changes to better address sexual misconduct. A former deputy general counsel with the Indiana Department of Child Services has filed a lawsuit alleging DCS discriminated against her because she's a woman and violated the Equal Pay Act. Deanna Mejia says DCS replaced her with a male employee who made more money despite having less experience in child welfare. Mejia says DCS retaliated against her and terminated her when she complained about it. She is seeking to be reinstated as well as lost wages and benefits. DCS declined to comment.
Big changes are on the way for 3 charter schools in Indianapolis. The Indianapolis Public School District is set to regain control of them after a vote by the State Board of Education today. RTV6's Megan Sanctorum explains what's next for the schools and what parents are saying about it.
In a packed meeting with hours of public comment on both sides, the state decided to give control of Emma Donnan Middle School, Emmerich Manual High School, and T.C. Howe Community High School back to IPS. The state took control of those schools years ago and chose Charter Schools USA to operate them. But IPS says they're ready to take them back and integrate them into their Innovation Network school model. District leaders say this will allow for a more sustainable long-term plan for the schools, but that long-term plan will have a big impact on students. Manual High School will partner with another education company, Crystal House. It will eventually become another Crystal House Academy. Emma Donnan Middle School will be operated by a new company, and Howe High School will close at the end of the school year. Some parents say they're seeing success with students under Charter Schools USA, and they're worried about what will happen to those students if schools go back under IPS control.
It's a home. They enjoy being there. Kids that I know that didn't like school, and now they do. And I'm afraid they're not going to like it. The culture has changed at Manual, and now I'm afraid it's going to change back.
Others say it's time to cut ties with the Charter Schools USA organization.
It being a for-profit company based in Florida, they may close up shop, and they would leave the students and the families and our community with a shuttered building. We felt that IPS would provide more accountability and long-term sustainability.
According to IPS, Manual and Emma Donnan schools will become Innovation Network schools, so they'll be operated by nonprofits, but still be accountable to the IPS board. Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
And we will have much more on the future of these schools and what it means for you and your family tonight at 6 o'clock.
Now to your Storm Team 6 forecast, and it's been kind of hard to see out there today. The fog is still lingering very thick at the time of this video taken here in Fortville, and this led to more than 100 school delays this morning. That fog kind of stayed around all morning long into the afternoon and a little bit still now, Kevin.
I just counted up the hours. 14 hours where we had visibility at a half mile or less. This started last night. We talked about it on the late news that kids may have a chance to sleep in for a couple of hours. No fog expected tonight. The visibility is improving now. You can see the city off in the distance there as we look from Indianapolis Motor Speedway to downtown Indy. And what's happening, the warmer air is coming from the south to the north. That is pushing the fog away from central Indiana, and then the wind will pick up tonight as well. That will be another mitigating factor, not allowing the fog to return. 48 in Columbus, 5 degrees cooler up in Peru. Temperatures 52 right now in Bloomington, 51 in Terre Haute. Indy sits at 48. That west wind anywhere from 10 to 15. We'll have gusts over 20 miles per hour tonight and tomorrow. Our temperatures eventually will drop into the 30s. We're at 46 at 7 o'clock tonight, 42 at 10 o'clock. As we go into the morning hours tomorrow, we'll recover but stay cold tomorrow. The biggest change, we're dry. We have some sunshine around. The temperatures in the low 30s.
Right now, investigators in Wayne Township and IMPD are looking for this woman. They say that she drove her vehicle into a business this afternoon on the 6600 block of West Washington Street and then took off. This is the damage left behind. You can see in these pictures tweeted by the Wayne Township Fire Department. The car crashed into Midwest Games. The 4 people in the building were not hurt. Again, if you know who this woman is seen leaving the area, please call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
RTV6 is continuing to expose Indiana's infant mortality issue, and last night, Governor Holcomb announced at his State of the State address, we are making strides in decreasing infant mortality, but there is still more work to do. Our Stephanie Wade has been uncovering solutions to this serious issue facing Hoosier families. She explains what the governor is now pushing for.
We talked to the governor about this issue back in the fall. And last night, in this room, you heard him propose Indiana joins 27 other states that require employers to provide reasonable accommodations for pregnant workers. It's something we've been reporting on and people have been pushing for.
I'm really grateful that you covered it and that you're continuing to follow this issue.
Governor Holcomb announced in his State of the State address he supports employees having access to more frequent breaks and temporary job restructuring while pregnant, something that could help ensure the health of moms and their babies. Groups like the Indy Chamber are jumping on board in support after hearing a woman's painful story of being denied lifting restrictions by her boss and losing her baby because of it. Just one of many issues women have faced in the workplace.
Back when I was pregnant with my first son, I unfortunately ended up being a single mom. I was fired from my job when I told my work employer that I was pregnant, and it put me in a place of distress.
2 bills have been filed in both the House and the Senate. We will keep you updated as they make their way through the State House. Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
And new information from the state shows the biggest decrease in the infant mortality rate in 6 years. The Black infant death rate dropped nearly 16%, and the rate for Hispanic infants dropped nearly 20% in 2018.
Still ahead at 5:30 on RTV6, honoring the contributions and service of women veterans. Many say they feel invisible. How something as simple as a photo could help change all of that.
But first, it is going to be quite a 4th of July weekend at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. What new track owner Roger Penske announced today that will make it a very busy weekend.
And an interesting weekend this weekend. It starts Friday with a wintry mix Friday night, and then what happens Saturday also of interest. We'll talk more about that coming up.
Keller and Keller.
Big news for hundreds of temporary General Motors workers in Indiana and 6 other states. More than 1,350 temporary workers at 14 GM facilities, including Bedford and Fort Wayne, will get full-time positions before the end of March. GM said today the workers will start at $21 to $24 an hour, depending on the seniority, and will get improved health care benefits at a low cost, dental and vision benefits, company 401k contributions, and annual profit-sharing checks. Eventually, they'll reach the top wage for a full-time production worker of $32.32 an hour. Well, if you don't have plans for the 4th of July weekend, you just might want to be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the town of Speedway.
The track announced big plans today for a full and festive holiday weekend. Sports Director Dave First is here with more on that. Hey, Dave.
Hi, guys. Good evening. Barely a week into the new ownership of the Speedway. Changes are already in the works. This one involving the Brickyard 400 weekend, which had already changed to the July 4th weekend this year. Roger Penske, Speedway President Doug Bowles, and NASCAR Director Ben Kennedy gathering to announce that the Xfinity Series, NASCAR's feeder series, will move its Saturday race from the oval to the infield road course. It'll be the first time NASCAR has utilized the road course, and certainly some speculation if one day the Cup Series will also race on the road course one day. For now, it's a major shift in the Brickyard 400 weekend, won, of course, last year by that driver in that car, Kevin Harvick, but attendance has been down lately. TV ratings could always use a boost, and changes in the air, especially when Roger asked staffers to come up with a top 10 list of changes for the track.
One of the top 10s was to take the Brickyard and take it to the top level where it should be. And I think the change, you know, having a road race on Saturday, then having the concert Saturday night, and certainly the Brickyard 400 on Sunday, it's a big change. And I think it's a precursor of what we can do in the future.
Is it NASCAR's thought process? Let's change some things up. Let's do some different things and see if it works, see if it sticks.
Yeah, you know, I think that's part of the thought process, but also doing it thoughtfully, making sure that there's data and research behind every decision we make. So I think it'll be new, it'll be different, it'll be something good for our fans and something good for the Xfinity Series.
All right, take a look at the track schedule. This is over just a 2-month span. This summer's going to be busy at the track. May 9th, the IndyCar race on the road course. May 24th, the 104th running of the Indy 500. And then in July, the BC 39 USAC race kicks things off, followed by the Xfinity Series on the road course, July 4th, followed by a Florida Georgia Line concert, and then fireworks, as mentioned, with the Brickyard 400 going off then on the oval the following day, Sunday, July 5th. Pennzoil has come on board to sponsor the Xfinity Series race, with Big Machine Vodka still the primary sponsor for the 400. So we've got the Xfinity Series now on the road course. Makes you wonder if any of the IndyCar drivers might be interested in taking part. That all new at 6. Dave First, RTV6 Sports.
I got a question for Dave. Can the Xfinity run in the rain?
Absolutely. Yes, it can. Okay. That's one of the beauties of this thing.
All right, that's what I always wonder, which race.
Just in case, right.
You don't want to play that window game and get a certain number of laps.
So you're saying it's going to rain, though?
I don't
I think he's leading to that, right.
See, I like to turn Dave's Sportscast into a press conference. You know, we should take
fire questions at him.
All right, let's look and check out some of the fog in the Speedway area this morning. And you see what I see. It looks like at the parking area for the Motor Speedway. You're looking, if you can see it, that would be the straightaway, Georgetown Road there, in the fog. Visibility, as we mentioned, for 14 hours at a half mile or less. Temperatures are going to reach their peak Saturday and then fall for a while. We'll get the colder temperatures in here, and it won't be immediately replaced by mild air. We'll have a stretch where it will feel like January. How about that? Saturday, 49 degrees with rain. It will be tricky getting to that point. There's more on that in a second. And then look how the bottom falls out. Second half of the weekend, we're lucky to climb into the lower 20s for highs. We'll start in the teens, and that's the start of 3 mornings in a row where temperatures will be quite cold in the teens those 3 mornings. Temperature right now, pretty comfortable, well above the 35-degree average high. We're at 48, 44 in Lafayette. Fog is improving, visibility is improving for all of central Indiana as the warmer air lifts to the north temporarily. What will happen, a cold front will swing through and the wind kicks up more, and that will eliminate the fog. You need to look at this for a second so you can see what I see. Tinker and Bodie in this picture. Tinker is the cat all snuggled up to Bodie. Thanks to Penny for sending in this picture. Temperatures in the 40s. Good evening to walk the dogs, although I'm sure you still have a towel nearby to wipe off all those paws as it's still a bit muddy. You let the animals back in the house. Wind gusts tomorrow in the 20s, 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts through the day. That will make it feel even colder. Wind chills in the teens in the morning. Afternoon temperatures just above the freezing mark in Indianapolis. To the north, Lafayette to Muncie North, you won't make it above the freezing mark. Temperatures are critical Friday. I've jumped to 7 p.m. Friday. We're still below the freezing mark. This slowly changes as we go through the overnight into the morning hours Saturday. 36 quickly into the 40s, bringing everything over to rain before the colder air sweeps in. Just want to show you as we get to Friday night, we have a wintry mix, some snow mixing with rain, maybe some freezing rain at times before it changes over to rain in the morning for central and southern portions of the area. To the north, it may stay a wintry mix a little while longer, and some light snow accumulation possible from Indy to the north. Kind of a recipe for Friday night before it becomes rain on Saturday. As we get closer, we'll have more details for you. Maybe half an inch to an inch of rain Saturday, and then the bottom falls out. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, temperatures only in the 20s for highs and lows in the teens.
All right, lots going on here in the next few days in the weather department.
Yes.
A little bit of a roller coaster there.
Right. Well, together again, Brooks and Dunn getting set to hit the road. We'll explain when they're coming to Indiana.
It's a Monday only at Ashley Home Store.
A legendary country music duo is getting ready to hit the road together again for the first time in a decade.
Brooks and Dunn will launch their Reboot 2020 tour in May, and they're coming to Indiana. The award-winning duo last toured 10 years ago. Their 18-city tour will kick off in St. Louis on May 15th, and the following day, May 16th, they'll be at Ruoff Music Center in Noblesville, and tickets will be available first as part of the Live Nation Country Mega Ticket. We will let you know when they go on sale. And we are continuing to follow breaking news. Here is a live look at House Speaker Nancy Pelosi signing the resolution of the articles of impeachment.
This is a very key move in the impeachment process, and after Pelosi signs these documents, as you see here happening live, those will be escorted, walking to the Senate chambers by the House Clerk, Cheryl Johnson. She will sign it as well, and the House impeachment managers will join her, along with the House Sergeant of Arms, Paul Irving. They'll escort those articles to the Senate. That's about a 2-minute walk, but there is a delay because of another event happening in the Capitol at this point. This clears the way for the Senate to take up the trial, the impeachment trial, in the process of the impeachment proceedings. Live pictures that you're seeing of Nancy Pelosi signing those articles of impeachment.
We will continue to follow this through the Now Indy and the news at 6. And all new at 6 p.m., thieves taking advantage of churches. We will show you what they're after. That's costing churches a lot of money.
But first on the Now Indy, Governor Holcomb would like to see a hands-free driving law enacted this session. What could be standing in the way? You're watching RTV6.